Hello, and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today, it is all about how to grow and care for the Aloe cameronii. Aloe cameronii, or red aloe, is a medium-sized, evergreen succulent plant native to Africa. Among aloes, this one stands out due to the eye-catching coloration of its leaves. Red aloe leaves have a fleshy, undulating structure that displays different colors depending on how much sun and water the plant is getting. From burnished copper to glowing green to a popping red, its leaves shift colors frequently and with great fanfare. If you're looking for a succulent that doesn't demand much in terms of care, Aloe cameronii is an excellent choice. Red aloe plants are drought-tolerant and do not require much water or fertilizer. They also make excellent indoor houseplants if you want to keep them small and outdoor landscapes. Red aloe will thrive in full sun but can also tolerate partial shade. The shade of the leaves is heavily dependent on the light, so experiment with it until you find the colors most pleasing to the eye. Don't worry about stressing the plant. It can handle it. Red aloe does not need any soil amendments. The plant is very forgiving in terms of growing conditions and will do well in whatever type of soil you have available. There is only one requirement: the soil needs to be well draining. The red aloe does not need a lot of water. The plant will thrive with a deep watering once per week in the summertime, but can go 2 weeks without any water if necessary. The key to keeping your aloe happy is to only water when the soil dries out completely. You don't need to fertilize this aloe to keep it healthy, but it can be beneficial to promote faster growth. Use balanced liquid fertilizer for the best results. Just remember not to overfeed your plant, as this can lead to stunted growth and disease. The red aloe is a tropical plant, meaning it does best when temperatures are between 55 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. The plant will survive in cooler areas, but will not thrive. Therefore, keeping your aloe out of drafts or cold breezes is essential, as these can be detrimental to your plant's health. Pruning is not needed by any means, but it can help to keep your plant looking its best. The most common method of pruning is removing dead leaves and stems. Do this by cutting off the dead part at the base of the plant with a sharp pair of scissors. Red aloes are fairly low-maintenance plants that can be repotted when the soil becomes compacted or if you need to move it. You can repot your aloe into a larger pot or use a container with more drainage holes. It's important not to overwater your aloe after repotting because this can lead to root rot. Prepare the pot. A clay or terracotta pot with drainage holes works best. Prepare the soil. A good soil mix for succulents is 1 part potting soil, 2 parts perlite or pumice, and 1 part sand. Choose a spot where it gets full sun and warm temperatures. Remove the aloe from its pot. Try not to disturb any roots that have grown outside of the pot. Toss out the old soil and cut away dead roots. Fill the new container with the pre-arranged potting soil. Place the plant into the prepared container, making sure it's stable and won't tip over easily. Water thoroughly to help the plant settle in. Red aloe is a fairly easy succulent to propagate. You can do so by cuttings, offsets, or even by seeds. Propagation by cuttings is the easiest, which is why this is the recommended method. To propagate by cuttings, choose healthy, well-established plants with lots of leaves. Remove a healthy offset from the plant by cutting it off at its base. Leave the cut end exposed to air for a few days so it can dry out. Plant in a container filled with soil that drains well and let sit in partial shade until new roots start forming. Flowers usually appear on red aloe in late fall or early winter. These are small, colorful blooms that range from red to orange. They are borne on stalks that peak above the foliage when the blooming season rolls around. Red aloe is non-toxic to humans and animals. It is often used as a treatment for minor skin irritations and burns. Mealybugs, scale insects, and aphids are some of the common pests. Mealybugs are white and cottony looking and can be found on the underside of leaves. If you notice these pests on your aloe, it is best to remove them with a cotton swab dipped in alcohol. Scale insects look like tiny, hard bumps on leaves and stems. Scales vary in color and size, depending on the type of scale insect you have. If you notice these pests on your plant, it is best to remove them with warm water and a soft brush. Aphids are small, green, or black insects that can be found in crevices. They suck sap from plants and will cause them to drop their leaves prematurely. Use natural insecticides to avoid damaging the plant. Please note and avoid overwatering the plant, placing it under harsh sunlight, using poorly drained potting mediums, and fertilizing during the dormancy period. Over-fertilization, browning leaves, and overwatering are the most common problems. If you fertilize your plant too often, it will develop nutrient burn. This can also be incredibly difficult to treat and may spell death for the plant. If your plant is developing brown, dying leaves, it may be due to too much or too little water. Adjust your watering routine accordingly. If you overwater your plant, it will develop root rot. Root rot can be almost impossible to treat, but if you catch it early on, there are methods you can use. But the easiest solution is to avoid overwatering in the first place.